Hey girl.
What's up?
Not much, just here setting up, was waiting for your phone call.
Ooh, I know, I'm so excited. Are you ready? It's
I'm
been
ready.
a long time.
It sure has.
Yeah, we should not be allowed to wait this long, but at the same time, it's okay.
Yeah, a lot of shit going on.
I know, but I'm excited. I think this topic's super important and it's something that we all should kind of be working on or working towards or be aware of or value more.
Yeah, we wanted to record while you were here because we wanted to have this conversation because of our friendship, right? So we didn't have the time. We were just hanging out, doing whatever. Then there was like a huge storm and all that bullshit happened. So we never really got to get in the podcast mood, I guess. So, but since you were here visiting not too long ago, we wanted to touch the friendship subject because I had not seen you in almost a decade. And when I saw you, when I picked you up from the airport, it was literally like I had just seen you like 3 days ago.
I know. It was really a cool, badass experience.
It really was
I
because
was nice to you.
yeah, it was perfect. Like it was like nothing. Like we just picked up right where we left off almost 10 years ago.
I
So
know.
yeah, that's when I kind of felt like I've always known our friendship has a lot of value. But having that feeling person to person, like in person, reminded me of why our relationship or why our our friendship, which is pretty much a relationship, has so much value. And that's what kind of like put a little bulb in my head of why I want to talk, have the conversation of friendship on the podcast, because I think it's very important for everybody to like stop, take a step back, and kind of really see and look at what friendships and friends and what it all really means to each individual, you know?
100%.
Yeah, so I did a little um searching or whatever research.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up the definition of a friend because I had never actually done that. So a friend is a
Mm-hmm.
person whom one knows and with who one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. And then I looked up what friendship means, and it's the emotion of conduct of friends. Another definition, it has a relationship between friends. And then another cool definition that I saw, that the third one that I really liked, was a state of mutual trust and support between allied nations, which I thought that was pretty cool because, allied
Yeah,
nations.
that's powerful.
Yeah, it's like a cool way to put it.
Yeah, I like it. So, do you consider yourself with a lot of good friendships in your life?
Um, I have a few good friendships in my life, yeah, that are like that bring value to my life, you know? Because I feel like that's who my friends are, like friends that bring value to me, to my life, to my son, to my relationship. Like, um, I've never for forever, for a very long time, I've always been really careful with the word friends. Like, I don't use the word loosely. Like people work, people call their coworkers friends, people call their classmates friends. Like I've never ever done that. Like that's my coworker, that's my classmate, that's my neighbor, that's my whatever, and then I have my friends, you know. I've lived here in San Antonio
Mm-hmm.
for a while now, and I would say I have maybe 5 people that I would be like, those are my friends that I can call last minute. Something happens, they're going to be there for me. I can have a shitty day, I can text them and they're going to be there for me. Like, um, Yeah, I have I have a few. I don't call everybody my friend for sure. I know a lot of people, but they're not my friends, and I know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you want to touch briefly on like what you mean by you don't just call anybody, like you don't use the word loosely?
Yeah, yeah, just like I said, like I don't call my coworkers my friends or my neighbors my friends, my classmates my friends. Like my friends are my friends, and like I don't. Mm, I mean, yeah, that's basically the only way I can put it. Like it takes
Okay.
time, to like build a friendship with someone to, to
Yeah.
be
I've always liked that.
that's my personal opinion. There's people that are like, "Oh yeah, like that's my friend." And that's cool. Like that's the way you handle your business, but I like to keep my friends are important to me. So that's why I don't. And if I can't, and that's vice versa, right? Like if I know that I'm not going to be there for you, if I know that I'm not going to come through right away when you need me or whatever, then I don't consider myself being a friend to you. So it just, for me, it works both ways.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I've always thought that was cool, and or not cool, but I guess I've always been aware of the fact that you've been like that, and that was one of the things that always made me feel a little bit like, wow, like I was really grateful because knowing how you are at first, when we became friends, you I was in a relationship with someone, and I was new to the town. You guys all knew kind of like what's up, and I had no idea, and there was some rumors going around, and basically we had a mutual friend, and basically that friend was like, hey, you have your version, which is funny. I have my version, but God knows what the truth was. But the way I remember is that that mutual friend let me know, like, hey, there's this girl, like, her name's Patty, and she's saying, like, just don't believe the rumor from this girl. Basically, the guy I was dating, his ex girlfriend was starting this rumor, and you basically were like, look, I've lived here a long time. I know this girl. I know this relationship. Like, don't, like, you kind of just were there for me without even, you reached out. And then I guess because you did that, I felt like, hey, I've always been somebody that's very open to just hanging out with people. Like if I don't know you, I will be like, hey, like let's hang out, let's get to know each other. And that's been a great that's been a strength of mine, but it's backfired, and I can get into like a story of how I've continued to learn how to not let people get so close. But you reached out, and then I told that mutual friend, like, hey, do you have her number? Can you ask her if I can get her number, if you can give it to me, because I want to hang out with her? And you basically were like down for it. And the first day that we hung out, it just like, I remember just telling you, I opened up to you really quickly. And again, I'm naturally like that. I'm an open person, and I've learned to not be so open, but I got really lucky with you. And yeah, we became such good friends so quickly. And for someone that is not so open to people like that, like you kind of take some time. I felt like you opened up to me fairly quickly, and we've been friends forever now. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? How long we've been friends, and like how long we haven't seen how long it had been since we had seen each other. It's
Yeah,
insane.
definitely. Our friendship has stood the test of time. Like I know that I can always count you in my corner, like rooting me on whatever it is that I'm doing. Like I know I can always count on you. But yeah, I think it's cool how I've always been aware again that you've been somebody who's you don't just let anybody in, right away. And I think sometimes when it clicks, it clicks. And for us, it clicked really well. And I think that's really cool. It's hard to
Yeah, that's
find that,
awesome.
I think, with it's just like finding a romantic really partner. Like you can't find that with just anybody.
Yeah, you really can't.
It's yeah. I mean, and that kind of segues into like the next part, which is like, how do you pick friends, and how do you know when to, because obviously there's like the levels of friendship. People are strangers and then they become acquaintances and then they become somewhat the relationship begins, like the friendship begins, and then you become close friends or friends, and then you become close friends, and then you become best friends or good friends or whatever. um and when do you know to continue to invest in people, or when do you know when, like, oh hey, they're in this level of friendship and they're probably always going to stay in that level of friendship, right?
Yeah. Um, I would say for me, I, to be honest, I've never thought about that. I've never thought about like, do I want to invest in you as my friend? Like, so to me, it's like a natural flow. Like, for example, like I have four good friends that I met at work when I worked at Gold's Gym, and um, now like for a long time, they were my coworkers and stuff. We never hung out of work, but you get really close with your coworkers. You talk a lot to them, and because I mean, I work with them every day, especially one. Like we always talked, and then eventually you're like, oh, you want to go grab a drink or you want to go eat, and then you go do that, and then it's like, oh my God, like I don't have a babysitter. Could you help me with Alexander? Like, of course, or let me ask my mom or what, and then that's how like you start building um a friendship to me, like like you trust them, to watch your son, or they trust you to um I don't know, whatever. Like, hey, would you pick me up a tea on the way to work? Like, yeah, dude, I got you. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like you start doing these little things for each other that I feel that's how the friendships build trust, and that's how you start building like a friendship, and that's how you start counting on each other and being there for each other, and then, the friendship just grows from there. That's how, if I have constant people that are standing like not being there for me or whatever, then I naturally, you know, distance myself, or, oh yeah, and she's probably not going to answer, so I'm not even going to bother, or, she's probably busy like doing something else, like I'm not even going to bother, like, so that is, so I feel like it's just a natural flow, like when it comes to friendships to me, like I feel like that's how it goes. I don't know, for me personally.
Well, for me, the reason why it is something that I'm very conscious of it. Like, I'm very aware, like, okay, this person's in my life now. I met this person, we're hanging out. And yeah, like you kind of give it's like dating someone. You don't just right away say, right, that they're your friend. I now say like, oh, this is my possible friend, in my head it's like, okay, don't open up to them so quickly. Don't They're not your friend yet. That has to be developed. It's a process. So for me, because I'm such an open person, and I I love I'm so interested in people, and like I love talking to people. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing their background. I love trying new things, so meeting new people, like all of that is something that I really enjoy. But I've learned, which I'm really grateful for, that I don't just open up right away. I don't just treat them like a friend. I don't have the same expectations of them as I do my friends, right? Like my friendships. So like if I'm meeting people and I see some red flags, I don't just automatically say, "Oh no, okay, like I'm not gonna invest that much." But I kind of just I'm like, oh, okay, like that. I'm taking like kind of like a note of that. No big deal. Like when we're not like I mess up sometimes, right? Like even just as simple as some people get offended when you don't text message, right? When you don't text someone back. And to me, it's like I know that I need to get better at that. I'm not trying to be rude. My intentions are not what it's looking like, right? So I know there are some people that have told me like, hey, yeah, like I don't know, I like they kind of let me know like, hey, what, I don't appreciate that. And it's like, oh wow, like I'm really sorry, like let's, and I for me that's like, oh wow, I really like that that person let me know what they liked and what they didn't like. So then it's like communicating, you communicate and you start to slowly see, okay, yeah, this person's mature, this person is aware that things happen and can talk it out and kind of just move. Where I've had other friends where they don't say anything, they don't have any problems, and then or I won't speak up and say like, oh yeah, this is an issue. You bring it up to their attention, and instead like you just kind of hold it in, and then by the time you want to talk about it, there's like this long list of things that you have problems with, where if you just would have tackled it in the first place, or maybe like two incidents happen and it's like, hey, this is kind of a pattern, like, and I think real people that are worth investing in will not get upset at that. They would be like, oh wow, they like, for me, like I appreciate when people are honest and when they say, hey, how come, or like I text you, you didn't text me back. I'm like, oh my God, like you're right, I didn't. And like I'm aware that I do that. So I really try not to do that. I try to be a good friend just like I expect people to be. So
Yeah, I think that's also very important in friendships, like being able to tell each other shit. Like, no, um, from the smallest things, like, no, that shirt doesn't look good on you, or like, dude, your eyeshadow a little too bright, or like, dude, you're looking fucking dumb texting him over and over, or whatever, like, or hey, dude, like seriously, like I kept texting you last night, we were supposed to meet up, you never replied, like, it time is valuable, like, different. So whenever you can tell somebody shit like that, like straightforward, and you know that it's not gonna like, because if that person's your friend, you comfortably can say that. You can be like, yeah, I can say this and I know that she's not gonna get her ass, extremely hurt and then walk away, and then we're not gonna have a friendship, you know versus versus somebody that versus someone that will get their feelings hurt, or will take it the wrong way. Which, if I know that person's even going to take it the wrong way, I'm probably not even going to say shit, because I don't really care, because you're not really my friend, you know?
yeah, and I guess that's where I'm saying like for me, I try to test it out and I do that slowly. But there are times that I rush into it and I'm like, yeah, like they want to hang out, they want to do this and that, and I'm like, okay, cool, like yeah, I'm definitely down. And then I'll kind of see something that I don't really like. And I'm like, oh shoot. And it can be as easy as they're just not for you. Like they're just the way their personality is, and maybe they are too blunt, and maybe some people just they're not down for that. They're like, oh, like I don't I don't need to hear your opinion about me all the time, like, and I know there's people who I've had people in my life who, and I still have some of those people in my life because, they're worth it, but they there's people who are for you and there's people who are not for you. And I think just learning to know yourself and what you like in friendship is really important. And I think the best way to like figure that out is to keep trying to make friends. And if it doesn't work out, like I had a conversation really recently and I'm in the process of, I guess, this friendship, and she's really cool. We started to have some tension over some things, and I actually wanted to talk to her one of the days, but then she ended up needing to leave right away, and so I said, all right, I will wait till the next time, because I didn't want to have the conversation over the phone. I wanted to do it face to face. And I basically, it was a week later, so a week went by, and the day that we saw each other was very, very awkward and very, I was actually pretty I was getting upset. I was like, dude, I don't need this. I wanted to just like walk away from this situation. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my adult pants on and I'm just gonna deal with this. And at the end of the day, at the end of this, I am going to talk to her. So I ended up pulling her aside and I said, hey, uh, what's going on? I just started there, like, what's going on? Like, where is there anything that you want to tell me? Because clearly I'm picking up on something. And she's like, well, and she kind of just like let it all out. And she was basically, well, because I met her through a mutual friend. And she asked my mutual friend what if she thought that she could talk to me. Like, do you think that I can approach her? And do you think she'll, is she somebody who you can do that with? And she interpreted my friend's advice as saying, no, she's too sensitive. She can't handle that. So, and then she ended up asking another person. So she even told me, I'm like, well, I'm approaching you. I'm telling you, like, hey, what's going on? Because I want to be cool. And if this isn't working out and this isn't going, the right direction, then cool. Like, but I still want to be cool because we're obviously going to the same place. So I want to be cool. And she basically was like, I want to be cool too. Like, I would have talked to you a long time ago, but I asked people and I guess I might have heard it wrong, but I was under the impression that you were too sensitive to have a conversation. And I'm like, well, you're wrong because I'm clearly confronting you. Like, yeah, it's not. And it wasn't like a smackdown, but it was just really just like, hey, what's going on? There's clearly miscommunication. Like, communicate what's going on in your head so I know, and then I will let you know. And it was so funny because we ended up feeling the same way, but we were interpreting things just very. We just needed to have that conversation, and sure, we moved forward, and it was great. Like, I really appreciated that conversation and just being able to be like, yo, what's going on? And I'd rather, and again, like, I made it very clear, like, if this isn't cool, then no worries. Like, we're just not for each other, and no big deal. Like, I still wish you luck, and I want you to do well. Like, let's leave. Like, nothing bad happened. It was just little stuff. But if you're not comfortable with it, like, let me know, and I will, remove myself. And but I still want to be cool. I don't need. But if that person's not willing to be cool, then that's one thing. But I always try to be cool. There's no reason to be awkward with somebody, especially if nothing big happened.
Yeah, for sure. Because we're still adults and we still like might run into each other. We might still see each other around. So, and hey, what's up? How are you? Good. Okay, cool. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, we're still adults at the end of the day. We don't need to be like that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's very um you you're not adulting if you're not trying to have these, like, if you're not trying to grow. And the people who are not for you in life or who come in your life and are gone, they can teach you something. So there's nothing lost ever. Like, if you had a relationship with someone, a friendship, whatever, and it didn't work out, you should always continue just to try to not talk bad about them, because, like, I hear people talk about old friendships and I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, we're adults. We're now in our late 20s, and I I know that just because people get older does not mean that people are growing up. And I'm surprised sometimes at how people can look like they're mature and can and have their shit together, but then later you end up in a situation with them and you're just like, damn, I'm like, you're really not mature. And this sucks because I got close to you, but whatever. And that because of that, I've learned to not get so open so quickly. And I think most of us learn that.
Yes, for sure.
So hurrah to just growing up, and we all make mistakes, and I think friendship is a great way to get to know yourself better and to get become a better person. Because sometimes people have told me, and they've checked me in really respectful, awesome ways. Or, you know, many people have told me that, like, hey, Cass, like, I really appreciated that. You know, I've never met somebody who did that, and I really appreciate that. And, you know, yeah, like I've made friends. I remember this one time I was in class and there was this girl just like so upset. She was crying in class. Not like sobbing in class, but she was just tearing, and I've had those moments where you just can't control it, you know, and it sucks. And at the end of class I was like, "Hey, are you I just wanted I know you don't know me. I know we're not friends, but clearly like you're upset and I just want you to know like I can stay and talk to you. Like are you okay? Do you need anything?" And to this day, we are like such good friends. I don't always get to see her. It's just like, you know how it goes. Like, you can go a couple months without seeing people, but you know when you hang out with them again that you pick up right where you left off. And those are the most precious friendships. So that's why I think making new friends is really important because if it's not for you, then cool, like you can move on. But I think you can also make a long lasting friendship and it can come out of nowhere like
Yeah.
ours
Yeah.
literally came out of nowhere and it was just like what, like that's so cool. I love when that happens.
Yeah, and it's probably the only time that it's happened to me, to be honest. Because I mean, we literally hung out for like maybe 2 months, between a month and a half to 3 months, let's say, and then you left, and I didn't see you again until like a month ago.
But we hung out like every day, like
Yeah, we hung out like every day for sure. And I mean, we shared just crazy young adult experiences that really brought us together.
yeah, we really bonded through that season in our life. And I think yeah, it's super cool that we're now able to continue to be, even though we live in different states, we're still able to, we don't need to communicate daily. We don't need to see each other, but we still have a very strong friendship that I'm very grateful for. And that's another thing. Like, if you can't see your friends, I feel like true friends understand, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I currently have a friend who is in a funk and you can only do so much. Like, you can't pressure people, you know? And she knows I'm here. I call her, you know, once in a while to just let her know that, you know, someone's calling her, someone's showing up on her phone and, and just, and she matters. And, but she's in a funk and I understand. I've been there. So I'm not going to give her shit about it. Like, oh, you know, you're so hard to reach, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool. Like, you know, are you doing good? Okay, cool. Like, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
like you can't make time for everybody all the time because if you're trying to build a life for yourself, that takes up most of your time, you know, but it's also important to, I'll have my days, dude, where I just reach out. I send like messages and they're personalized messages, but I just like, I'll have like today was one of those days. I was like, I need to call my grandpa, I need to call my grandma, and then or I actually texted my grandmas and I was just letting them know like, hey, you guys good? Okay, cool. And that's family, but with my friends, I did the same thing. Like, hey, how are you? What are you good? You know, just wanted to say hi, and I feel like people appreciate that because I appreciate that when people legit just text me because they're just saying hi. They're not saying they're not lonely or feeling any type of way, so they want to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, hey, can you hang out this Friday? You know, it's more just like, and I don't mind those either, but I'm saying like when people just genuinely reach out to just say hi and just check on you, I think those are like so badass. So I make an effort to try to do that too. I'm not great at it, but I definitely, and with you, I obviously like will call, we talk on the phone. I'm more of a talker. That's why I don't really respond to texts, but I've definitely gotten better at that. Do you ever get people who
that I shoot a quick text like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, I mean,
hey guys, wanted to take a quick little break to first of all say thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the podcast. We greatly appreciate you guys. Our podcast is created on Anchor. Anchor is a free app and a free website that provides everything in one place for you to start getting creative if that's something that you're interested in. So it provides you with two major keys, right? You can go ahead and record on Anchor, or you can record on a different software and upload it to Anchor. So for example, me and Cassie, we record our phone call and we upload it to Anchor, do what we have to do, and it's good to go. And then from there, Anchor takes control and it will go ahead and distribute it for you around all major platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and any other big platforms that are used for podcasting. Another major thing is that you get to make some cash. So not only do I get to record with my best friend, but we also get to make some money in the process. So that's awesome. So yeah, go ahead and download Anchor. It's not only for creating podcasts, but it's also for listening to podcasts. So if you're interested in finding some different podcasts, go ahead and get on there, download it. Again, it's free, and check it out. Let us know what you guys think. Again, thank you so much for listening, for supporting, and I hope you guys are having a great day.
It's very important to know who is good for you and who's not good for you, and surround yourself with good people, even if that's a few, or even if that's nobody for a little while. Even if you're like, you know what, I'm distancing myself from all my friends because they're not really in the place I'm at, or you feel like it's just not working. You just feel like, you know what, like I need some time alone. That's better than hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree.
But RIP to bad relationships and friendship. When I say relationships and all this, I mean friendships, because there are relationships.
Yeah, they are. They need work and respect, just like a romantic relationship.
For real. And you and I have had those conversations. They're uncomfortable, but like we communicate. Like when something's not right, we call it out and we nip it in the butt and we move on with it. We don't dwell on it, because part of friends, good friends are like your family, and it's okay to love them and to not like them at a certain point, That's real.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody gets on your nerves, and if you're acting like they're not getting on your nerves, you're just gonna kind of let it slide. Like, that's not okay for you or for them. Like, just either remove yourself, get over it, or say something so you can get over it. Whatever works best for you. So if one of your friends did something that's bothering you, either, for me, like, I would say, okay, I'm going to tell her something, or I'm just not going to say anything at all. Like, I know myself. I know I'm getting annoyed easily. I'm going to get over it in a couple days, and then you just move on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how I am really with a bunch of shit, with like my relationship, or with my sister, with my mom, with my dad, with, sometimes they'd be getting on my damn nerves. And if it's really bothering me and I know it's going to make me feel better to say something, or I feel like I need to say something, then I will. But if it's just me being me, or me feeling some type of way, and I know it's not even worth like going into details and breaking it all down, like, it's just, Patty, just get over it. You're gonna be fine. Everybody's gonna be fine. You love her. She loves you. Yeah, let's go. Boom. Deal closed,
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's some shit sometimes that I think that we feel like there could be some, you feel like you need to say something, but sometimes you don't need to say anything. Sometimes the best thing is to say nothing at all.
Sometimes, yeah. And you got to figure that out for yourself. And
you got to know when to pick and choose your battles, because you can't, It's sometimes the best thing is to say nothing at all. Like, it's just, it's life. Like, this shit happens, get over it. But if it's really bothering, if you really feel like, to me, it's more like respect. Like, if I'm feeling disrespected, then okay, I will probably say something. But if I just feel like it's like you're being you, or not you, but like whoever the person is, like you're being you're, I know that's how she can be, or he can be, or whatever, then I can get over it. But if I start feeling like it was somewhat disrespectful, somewhat disrespectful to me, and it's going to be hard for me to let it go, then I'll probably say something.
And I do agree with that, but I will say that I have had conversations with people because I'm just like, whoa, like that's not cool. And people are like, sometimes I know what you're saying though, like all in all, like sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes you're about to go off on somebody that you don't need to go off on. Or not like you're about to pop off, like, well, this isn't this, and then later you're like, damn, like I just exploded on them and that had nothing to do with them. Like they were just irritating me, but there was other stuff. And so yes, I agree that sometimes you just gotta like check yourself, because it's not always about making yourself feel better, because sometimes popping off on someone feels good at the moment, but then later you regret that. And strong-minded people don't do that. Like they count themselves. So I love that you're saying like, yeah, sometimes just give yourself a moment and you'll get over it, But I think there is something to say about letting people get away with shit that they shouldn't be, because there's really good people out there that deal with shit that they don't need to be dealing with. And by calling that person out, you actually are helping them, like sometimes losing a good friend, you learn a lesson. You're like, damn, I really messed that up. I really took that friendship for granted. And or it doesn't even have to be that bad. You can just be, like I said, like someone can do something and I'm like, whoa, dude, like that's not cool. And they're like, wow, like no one's ever pointed that out to me. Like, and I'm like, I'm sure they're talking shit behind your back, but yeah, that you shouldn't treat people like that. And they're thankful. They're like, oh, like damn, So I love that. Like, and that's life. You got to figure out when to do what, and friendship is just like one of those things that.
Yeah, and yeah, for me that line, it's just respect. Like if I'm feeling like disrespected, then say something. Maybe some people don't feel disrespected by some shit that I feel disrespected by. I mean, it's just who you are, and like, and if that's your friend and you want to let them know something's bothering you, something made you feel disrespected or some type of way, then say it,
Yeah, I guess we can like end with that, and we just encourage each other to like, if there's ever anything, of course, that you want to talk about, I know you'll talk about it, but and vice versa. Like if there's something, and just always have respect. And friendships is a crazy thing, because you can have a friend for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And if you have a bad pattern, like I know friends that are weird, like I have a friend who has a best friend and they have the weirdest relationship, but in some ways if it works for them, cool, but other ways I'm like, yo, you guys are just hanging out because you've known each other for so long, but you guys, like, they will fight in front of people, like if they're like and it's disrespectful to me. Like they're being disrespectful to each other, and one has stormed away, like, and drove home, and it's just sometimes you got to know too, like, when to let people go. And it doesn't have to be bad and the serious thing, but just know that friendships can come and go. Some people were only to be there for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe some people are only supposed to be there for a little part of your life.
Exactly. But I love you very much, and I'm super grateful for our friendship. And there's actually there's a few apps on actually finding friends, and I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. That might be weird for some people, but to me, if you're on Tinder looking for,
The D.
What? Yeah, catching the then I think, you definitely are open to finding friends. Like there's so many apps that are legitimately for just friendships. And I think that's so cool. There's one that's called Bumble BFF. I think Bumble alone is an app to date, but I think Bumble BFF friends. And then there's something called Friender. It's friend and ER at the end. So Friender. And then Peanut. And then Meetup is an app that you basically like meet up with. There's different events. So you can host a meetup and you can invite people, and you basically like there's meetups to go hiking, and you're by yourself, you want to go socialize, you just sign up and say you're going to go to the meetup, and there's a lot of these are free. So I know people who've gone to meetups. I've been wanting to go to one for a long time, but I just haven't. But there's definitely ways to make new friends. There's actually a lot of ways, which is super cool.
Yeah. Oh man.
Would you ever try them?
Probably not.
I knew you were going to say that. And for you that are like that, that's totally cool. Like, find it the natural way. But I definitely feel like if you feel like you don't have that many friends, it's worth a shot of just it's a new experience, and you might meet somebody that was really, really cool,
Yeah,
But
you never really know.
Don't push it, but get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Someone super awesome.
I would like an app like that that's like for moms. That would be cool because I would like to have more mom friends.
Well, like Meetup, there's different populations that they focus on, or different demographics. So I know for sure. I think I've seen one for moms or parents.
I'm gonna go download it right now then, and I'm gonna check that out because I do want more mom friends.
Yeah, I could imagine why. I mean, and for me, I have no kids, right? So a lot of my friends have kids. And some of them don't have them 24/7. Some of them go with their dad for the weekend, or some of them have them 24/7. But most of the friends I have that have friends, I think, actually don't have them for like one weekend, but they're with them for the rest of the time. But or every other weekend. I don't know. But I could understand how you guys want, because I'm cool with going to the park and going to events with kids, but I could see how if you it's funny because I feel like everybody has kids, but people who have kids feel like everybody doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
Right? So
I mean, here in San Antonio, I literally have one girl that and I just know her. I know her because of her boyfriend, and her boyfriend and Rudy Anthony work together. So I met her, and I mean, we're not really friends, So we hang out when they hang out, or when the boys started soccer. So we've been kind of like talking, getting to know each other, like while they're practicing soccer for 30 minutes. So she's my only kind of mom friend that I have, and it's really hard to hang out because she works a lot and I'm busy, and like it's just when you have, and then that's the thing too, like I feel like if you have mom friends, like it's hard to meet up as well because there's just so much shit going on all the time, especially when you have kids.
I believe it.
Oh shit, I like this. There's a book club. Bitch, I'm gonna do the book club and I'm gonna do the family one.
Yeah, there's a lot of great. That's why I wanted to just because, like I said, I've been saying I'm gonna go to meetups. I know people who've gone to meetups, and they've gone to really cool events. Like they went to go. There's a Rose Bowl parade in California every year, and it's a parade, and there are these floats that are made out of flowers. So anyway, they were able to like go to a meetup, and they were able to work on the floats and the different flowers and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. So for some people, it might be like a big turnoff, but there's tons of people out there, and there's tons of if you're a good person and you know how to weave out like or to just end a relationship, a friendship, just that's why I like meet as many people as you can. If you meet like let's just say for numbers 100 people, or let's just say 20 people, you meet 20 new people, and you make one friendship out of that, that's dope, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like a good, yeah, like a meaningful friendship, you know?
Yeah, and the cool thing about Meetup is that the whole thing is that you're going to event, you know the event you're going to. So say you're going hiking, and you know, like most likely that the people that are there obviously like to go hiking. So you have that in common already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
for
browsing
the
through the app
moms.
right now. This is cool. I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try to go to one. We'll
Yeah,
try to go
dude.
to
I
one
and
and
then it tells you to
work.
pick your category. So I picked family and I picked book club, and then like from there it gives you other categories like gay parents, single moms, whatever, whatever. So I picked
Mm-hmm.
play
Mm-hmm.
dates, moms, and family. And then for the book one, it has like fiction and all this other shit, and then it has reading and drinking. And you know I picked that one.
Ay, ay, ay. I love it.
Yeah, girl, you know me. I need a little drink every now and then.
Yes, you do. That's
Hmm.
all good.
Yeah, so for sure. And then we can talk about it on the next podcast or whichever episode we happen to have done that app thing. And then we can talk about it, which brings me to the next point. I know we had talked about it about when we can record and stuff. I know you mentioned Fridays, and I'm totally
Mhm.
cool with Fridays, just every other Friday, because every other weekend I have um, lawns. You know, I have my little lawn care business. So I have that. And then on the weeks that I can't do Fridays, I can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Thursday,
Okay.
anytime in the morning, because that's when I manage my properties and it's work from home, so I can maneuver around that.
Okay, so let's plan Fridays and Tuesdays for our recording days, and hopefully we can get one out every other week.
That's the goal. And if we can do one a week, that would be even better.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
girly.
Yeah,
We're
well,
both like,
I know all at the same time.
we
Yeah,
gotta,
well, yeah, I mean, I kind of got to go and I know you have to go to school too. So we'll just talk later and catch up and, make sure we're doing good as we always do.
you know it.
Okay. Love you.
All right, girly. Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Take care.